Welcome to the Ground Up Podcast, coming from the Level Wellness Studio inside the B2 Wellness Suites here in sunny Brentwood, Tennessee. We're in the penthouse, the show that turns pain into pivot and helps you have the confidence to build your business. I am your host today, Terry Barga, and I'm here with Vanessa Hampton.
Hey.
And we're missing Roy Mangrum today. That guy's busy. It's football season, and he's
on it.
He's out there and doing the things. No, he's not playing football, but he's making shirts.
He's left us to man the fort.
Yeah, he's helping out with the football team. So we hope you win today, Roy, because I know you're going to Memphis. So, and we're here with a special guest, a very special guest, and I'm excited to talk to you. We're here with Philip Owens, and Philip, you're here with Living Path Counseling, yeah?
Yes.
We talk a lot on this podcast about how to help entrepreneurs. And we do a lot in the weeds of systems and processes and and we often get into mental health and taking breaks. It's going to be fun to have an actual professional in the room.
We pretend.
Oh, I think you're thinking too highly of me already.
But we're going to put you to the test. Now, okay. I've enjoyed our interactions. I met you at the Well Pro Thrive networking event.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. We're out there connecting with people. We're all out there being uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to talk a little bit about that today too. But before we do, we need to get into who is Philip Owens. So give us the rundown. Give us a little history on yourself.
Okay, this is the non-celebrity version. This is
the non-celebrity version.
The regular person.
Yeah. The real life Philip Owens.
Well, I've had three main lives is how I look at it. I've been a teacher at the elementary and middle school, and then I taught college at the college, undergrad, and graduate level, and now I'm doing counseling. So I've had like three main lives. When I started out teaching in the elementary and middle school, I was finding the kids there's no resources for them. I was in rural Tennessee and Georgia, and there was no resources. If someone was having issues with their sight or hearing, I couldn't find anything that would help them or get them to the doctor that they needed. Got frustrated with that, and then I started actually into my graduate school and started finding out there are resources out there. And so in the counseling that I did and practicums I did, I found, here's how I can help these people better. And my reach was much bigger because before I was in a classroom with 30 kids, I could reach those families. Now I'm counseling 30 kids or families a week. And so I can have much more reach and get them the resources that they need. And so then after that, I got licensed and started into agency work, which a lot of people do. My first full-time job was actually at a prison in Tennessee.
Philip, how long ago was that?
So that was 2015 to 18.
Okay, when you were doing the prison work?
Yes.
Okay, how long ago was it that you got your license?
21 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I've been working part-time in agencies doing different things, raising kids. I was a stay-at-home dad with 2 kids. So busy life, stay-at-home dad and teaching at nighttime. So when my wife would pull into the driveway, I would spin the tires and get out of there to go teach.
See ya.
And that's how we managed it. So then when they got a little older, I decided, I want to go full-time. Found a job at the prisons. I work with maximum security inmates who have no hope of parole, and I was working in a psychiatric hospital in the prison. So I believe that might be the worst of the worst.
That's heavy work.
And so I was there 3 years. So I like to refer to it my time in prison. And,
okay.
Might have a similar story. Carry on.
When I was in prison, and I found that the men there had no hope.
Okay.
And obviously why they would, but we started treating it more like it was their home. And I tried to explain to them, this is where you live, and that's your front yard, and this is your backyard, and this is where you will be for the rest of your life. So let's make it a community. And we started doing that. That my people on my pod started getting better at that point. So I learned from that experience how to help men have hope that it can get better.
That's wonderful.
That's really cool.
How long? So that was in 2015 to 17?
To 18.
To 18. And then since then, what have you been doing?
So since then, I went back to the school. I was a school counselor for about a year. And COVID hit.
Okay.
and I was told to go home, and I thought I was fired, and it felt like I was fired. But if you have no students in school, you can't counsel them. So started looking. I found a job online doing virtual therapy during that time, which the insurance industry changed and will now pay for virtual therapy. So I've been doing that about 5 years, and decided it might be a good time for me to open up my own little place.
How is virtual versus in person for you?
It's great. It's different.
Okay.
But I'm in the home of the family. I can see their home.
Yeah.
I meet their doggies and their puppies. I meet their family.
You're getting
Yeah.
more of a full picture
I
of their
get the
home
full
life.
picture.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Okay.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. I really want to ask a question, but I don't want to do that prematurely before we get into the next part. Like I hear, because you and I have had plenty of interaction, and I get to hear your heart, and I really enjoy talking to you. So I'm interested to know what your why is. Why was counseling the thing for you? Like what is it about it that brings you life?
Yeah. So I didn't even know about counseling or what it was. I was looking to go back to school to get a master's, and my first degree was in education. So I went, and I went to see my professor and talked to him about what I could do. And he basically looked at his watch and said, "I'm busy. How long is this going to take?" And I said, "Well, I don't need you." And I left. But I was so worried I couldn't go home and tell my wife that I didn't have any degree to go to. So I went downstairs, and there's the counseling offices. And one of the dean came out, shook my hand, welcomed me in, told me all about counseling. I had no idea what counseling was. And as I went, I started understanding that you just talk to people. In fact, he said it's talk therapy. And I was like, well, I'm really good at talking. What I didn't know, Terry, is that I got to listen a little bit.
Well, and that when you
Nobody
went
told you.
to school to get that degree, counseling was not near as prominent
No,
as it is now,
I had
right?
no idea what it was.
Okay.
So in the process of doing that, we had to not only interview students for their like fake counseling, if you will, but we had to also see real clients. And I got interested in how can I help them better? Once again, it comes back to how can I help them find the resources that they need. So I went to counseling myself. And that's when I found out that maybe I had a few issues of my own. And so then I was able to figure out, oh, if I go to counseling, I can get help. Then I can help other people. And that's kind of where my heart is like, oh, I didn't know I needed help. And now I'm helping people who also don't know that they need help.
And is that the most gratifying thing for you?
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
That's where my heart is.
Love that.
Oh, that's really cool. So I have to ask this question. It's partly comedic, so feel free to take some liberties here. But I know you work a lot with men, and we obviously talk a lot about entrepreneurship on here. Is there a parallel between the guys that you worked with in the prison and the entrepreneurs?
I would say yes.
Yeah, I figured.
I would say yes.
I figured.
You know, the thing about the prisoners that I found was they have a different philosophy than we do. So you and I might have a philosophy, what's mine is mine, and if you need it, you can borrow it. Their philosophy is what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine too. So it's a little bit different. And so when you're going into business, it's almost that way. I have to have that mentality of where do I find these resources to help me? And so I don't know what I need. So I go to other people and say, what do I need? And then they help me. And maybe sharing, I guess, would be the word.
And you still get that mentality in entrepreneurship
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes.
What's mine is mine, and I'll take yours too. Not here.
Yeah,
Not here.
I was thinking. I guess I wasn't thinking about which is why you're here. It's why the professional is here. I was thinking more about environment, really, because sometimes you can feel trapped by your own vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stuck
Yes.
in a prison of your own
Yes,
making.
and I think these men that I'm working with do that. Sometimes they climb the corporate ladder only to find they get there and there's nothing else for them to do. They're at the highest point of their career and they don't know their families.
Yeah.
They haven't met their children. They don't know their wife. They don't know their partner. So I help them reconnect. And a part of that is learning forgiveness for themselves
Sure.
and for their family, and learning that forgiveness to unify themselves and find that cohesion, that fulfillment that they've been looking for.
When you're talking to guys that haven't maybe achieved the highest point of their career yet, but they're climbing that ladder, maybe there's, I don't know, I guess what I'm asking is, out of both of those individuals, where is that turning point where they decide, or is it obvious to you? Maybe it's not, where they decide that I'm choosing this path knowing what's at stake.
Yes. And a lot of times it's financial. It's just
Okay.
financial. They'll go home and tell their wife, their partner, well, I'm getting a promotion. And everyone's excited, more money, that kind of thing. But no one thinks about that's going to take me away from the home a lot more. I won't have as much time. So I try to help them see, what are your priorities? And we go through a value system to find out, if their family is important and you're saying it is, let's find out how you can do this and still progress in your leadership and your companies. And this way they find that work-life balance.
Okay.
So I have a question about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
With
Vanessa.
the difference between, so you found your niche with men,
Mhm.
and understanding that mentality. What would you say are some of the key differences in working with men versus working with women?
Such a good question, Vanessa. That's so great. Yeah, men don't know they need help.
Okay.
They don't know that they might have mental health issues that could be helped through counseling. Um, the women in their lives are the ones who know they need help. They encourage them. They try to get them to counseling. They won't go. So, yeah, so the difference is women understand more about their feelings,
Mhm.
whereas men are more doing and activity
So they just
based.
accept what they're thinking
They
and
just,
feeling for the most
press
part.
on.
Okay.
I got this. I can do this. Man up. All those kind of things.
This is just life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you learn something?
Interesting. I did. I'm getting all the questions in my head because I feel like I have an opportunity here with the guys to figure some things out.
I
Yeah,
love. So
exactly.
she's already doing this too. I see.
Yeah.
Pulling
Those
information.
wheels are rolling, aren't they?
Oh yeah. I can see the smoke coming out her ears. I was thinking it's either ammo for us or it's ammo for your husband. So
Not necessarily ammo, just
Ammo's a strong term.
understanding. I like to understand. If I understand, then I feel like I function better.
Well, I think
Sure.
that's why this is important. This is why I wanted to talk about this on here, because there is, man, I don't know why it's such a beat your head against the wall entry to counseling is with dudes. It's always beating our heads against the wall. I will tell you that I did counseling. It's probably been almost 10 years ago now, and I initiated it because I'm like, I just can't figure this thing out, and I live in that space. I live in my head, and I'm always gift or curse. Maybe you can elaborate on this for me. I always try to find the root cause of everything that's going on up here, or in my emotions,
Sure.
or what I'm feeling.
Good for you.
And well,
Yeah.
it can be.
Blessing and a curse.
It can be.
It can be.
Because I'll do it to others as well, the ones that are closest to me. And that's where I find maybe this isn't for everybody. It's just for me.
It took me a moment to realize I can't counsel my family or my friends. I was told in my counseling classes, don't counsel your family or your friends, but I got
Is
to
that
practice, but
because
it doesn't
of
work.
How do you
lack
shut
of
it off?
acceptance? Is that because of lack of receiving that with your family and friends, or because that comes across, there's just, you can't be objective?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's not so much the objectivity as I know how to listen,
Mhm.
and they like to talk, so I'll listen. And so sometimes you find yourself in over your head, and you want to help them,
Yeah.
and you get in their head, I guess is how you say
Well,
it.
and there's no way to delayer the personal
Mhm.
part of that
Mhm.
from the counselor
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
that. So
So I found out real fast if we're at a reunion or something and somebody wants to get deep into their emotions, I got to get a drink. I'll be right back. Excuse me just a moment. No intention of going back, by the way.
right. Now we know your
Totally.
tactics. If
That's
he ever does that to
Totally
you,
got
Terry,
distracted. Totally got
A
distracted.
moment, just a
Yeah,
moment.
just
if
one
he
moment.
ever does that to you, Terry, you're going to know a secret now. See ya.
That might be a helpful tip for me.
There
as
you
well.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. You learned something new. See?
Exactly.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. The coping mechanisms from all angles. I want to get into a little bit more of that boundary, and not that I'm going to try to pull counseling from you for me on this show.
I might try to pull
All
it
right.
from you for him.
But
Sure.
but tools and resources is the point I'm going to try to get to, and we're going to do that real quick. We'll do that when we come back from this break.
We know prevention is always the best medicine, but our healthcare system can't prevent disease. It only helps when you're already sick. At Kraft Body Scan, we find cancer, heart disease, and other health problems before symptoms appear. And that early detection could be the key to saving your life. Take your health into your own hands. Schedule a couple's heart and lung scan today for only $149. Visit togetherwescan.com.
All right. Before we went to break, I was getting free counseling from you, so I will continue.
Yes.
No, so the personal boundary that you're talking about, is it? I know it's probably professionally trained in you, but the what I'm understanding is that you don't really want to go in and to counsel somebody or to give them information or what you think is resources or help. And I'll put that in air quotes because it's coming from me, not you. You can't really do that without permission.
That's exactly right.
So
Yeah.
some people will
Yeah.
come to you with the permission on the floor already. And
Yeah.
you're like, well, you're not asking me for my permission.
Yeah.
They'll just dump their stuff on you.
Yeah.
So that's, that I know that I've been guilty of that. I know that I just had this conversation with my wife on a walk the other day that I can't not do that. And it's hard for me to remember. I don't have to get out all the things that I'm currently thinking in my brain that I think are like the weight, which is where I want to go next, like the weight of leadership or the weight of knowing or the weight of having the tools and have used them and seeing their experience. Like, how does that play a role?
So yeah, I like to think that I have a giant toolbox full of all these tools that'll help everyone.
Yeah.
So when the men or even when women come into my office for counseling, I just start pulling out all the tools, and then they're just like, "Wait, I don't even know if I'm ready for counseling." I was like, "Oh, let's put the tools right back in there." So I have found myself backpedaling a little bit, but you're exactly right, Terry. You have to get their permission, their buy-in, if you will. So there's 5 main stages of being ready. The first one is pre-contemplation.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know you need counseling, but someone else can tell. And then they get you to understand that, and you contemplate, well, what would it be like if I actually got counseling? And then the third stage is actually getting the help that you need. And then there's 2 others after that. But so just looking at, are you ready for counseling? So helping them see where they are is the first session. Like, where are you?
Yeah.
Like, are you in the contemplation phase, or have you even thought about this before? Are you ready for counseling? Good question. Yeah, good point.
I like this.
Yeah,
This is
good
going to be a
point.
fun podcast for me.
How do you take on, or how do you separate yourself, or are you good at it, of not taking on other people's problems
Wow.
and carrying that weight
Wow.
with you?
Yeah, that is a heavy question, and very, very difficult one at that. It's not that you become numb to it, but
Mhm.
you have to realize this is their life and you're going to help them, but you can't take it on as your
As your own.
problems, because it doesn't work. And so kind of at the end of the day, I have to kind of decompress, if you will,
Mhm.
and find a coworker to talk to, for example,
Kind of
or-
debrief.
and debrief.
Okay.
This is kind of what happened. I don't want to take it home. What would you do with this? And so, so that separation. And plus, I've been doing this a number of years, a long time.
Well, and you spent 3 years in the prison,
Yeah,
so I'm sure you
yeah.
got a lot of practice at
Yeah,
that, because
yeah.
I'm sure you heard a lot of heavy things
Did,
in there.
for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting, when I first went into the prison, they said, this is your office, and the men will come in here if they want individual counseling. So I sat in there like the Maytag man. Waiting for about a week, and nobody came in my office. Well, that was that stigma.
Right.
None of the inmates wanted to be seen going into my office.
Mhm.
So I figured, what can I do? Because we're having group in the morning. They come to that, but they know me. They know I'm approachable, but they won't come in my office. So I started walking on the pod, just walking around. And as I'm walking, they'd come up and say, Dr. Owens, I got something I want to talk to you about. I was like, let's go in the office. Oh, no, right here.
Yeah.
So right in front of everybody, we're just talking about their business. And it was very helpful for me to see where they were.
Okay.
Because now I understand there's really no privacy in the prison.
No, I mean,
So,
that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So,
And so me taking on, I didn't take on their personal problems because everybody in the pod knows what they are. And they're
okay.
supporting each other in that way. So that was a really good experience for me.
Very interesting.
That tracks a lot with, us being trainers. I had this, back in the day when I had a bunch of trainers working for me, we talked about when things get heavy, right? Because it always does.
Right.
With your clients, and a lot of it is just because your clients have finally made space to talk about and or reflect on working on themselves. Most of the other time, they're like a ping pong ball being beat back and forth between family and work, family and work, family and work. There's no stopping. So when they come to work out, their mind opens up with, oh, this is me time.
Well, and they feel safe with
Right.
you.
So they feel safe.
Right.
Because that's the whole part of personal training. That's the personal part. And trainers, if you're listening, they're not buying your program. There is nothing new under the sun when it comes to your program. I could find your program on YouTube. It's about your character and about who you are and about your ability to be to connect.
Mhm.
It's that relationship.
Empathy,
right.
It's the
understanding.
relationship.
Right. So we would do walk and talks when the client comes in and you're doing a warm
But
up.
wait, you weren't in prison.
No, we weren't. But this is what. This is why
that you know of.
that
Philip.
connects.
Well, I know of
Yeah, this
so
is why
far.
that connects to me is because that's how we would. One, we want to get them out of feeling, for lack of a better term, embarrassed to process their emotions because our gym was not a private space. Let's get them outside. Move. One, we're still moving. Two, we're in nature. Get a little bit of vitamin D, even if it's frigid. And then three, dump it all out. Just dump it out. And all I would do is pull.
Exactly.
Just pull it out.
Exactly.
So that we can go back to work.
And I like that walk and talk because we're together side by side.
Yeah.
I'm not ahead of you. I'm not behind you. I'm
Right.
beside you. And I understand where you are and I understand how scary it is to move forward.
Mhm.
But I'm going to be here with you
We're
until
going
you're
to figure
ready.
it out together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think if you all listening to this, your trainers out there listening to this, high quality resource right here for yourself, but also for your high level clients, because that's hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? I did it opportunistically. I tried not to get into the space of this is not what I'm being paid to do. My thought with it was always how quickly can we get this load off of them so they can breathe for a minute and or use that energy for the workout, right?
Right.
Even if it's just a sounding board in that moment, it's tough to know. You don't want to just stop people hardcore and be like, no, you need a counselor, because then they're gonna. I just feel like it's not cool.
I've sent several of my clients, both with training. Massage is not any different. I mean, you're dealing with people in vulnerable times, and they feel safe with you, and they're going to start talking to you. And so there's been several clients that I have suggested, maybe you need to sit with somebody who you can talk this through more. You want to be that person, but you can't. I mean, there's more qualified individuals that.
Well, and also you have your 45-minute session. That's all you have. And next.
Right.
Yeah. My massage therapist, just so you know, is my best counselor right now. So
yeah, it is. I mean, it truly is.
I mean, you're totally exposed there. You just might as well open up everything. So
yeah,
there you
I
go.
think there's something to be said about, and maybe you can speak to this more on a more scientific level, but there's something about body work that draws out. I think it has to do with the transparency. It has to do with
it's safety.
The safety.
If you're entrusting somebody to work on you like that,
it's the vulnerability of I'm
vulnerability.
coming in here and laying my strength down and saying I'm not as strong as I think I am. Hey, trainer, can you make me stronger? That's vulnerable.
Yeah.
Similar to laying on the massage bed.
Yeah.
We know that we also know that stress is carried oftentimes in the shoulders, or sometimes for the ladies it's in the hips.
Yeah. Yeah. That connection between the body and the mind.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm not a trainer as far as physical trainer goes, but I like your point. Get out, move, get outside. I'll walk with you. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where I think too, as trainers and therapists, it is like Terry was saying, you can get some of that out, and you have to do that work. But we're not trained not to take that on. So I know for me, there have been very challenging times of taking on the full stress of whatever my client was going through. Some of it I wouldn't, but some of it, when they're telling you their deepest, darkest secrets, that's not what I'm qualified to do. So that
Right.
was where I would step
Yeah.
in and say, I really think that you would benefit from talking to somebody.
Exactly. And it's okay to say to your clients and patients, you know what, we're getting in over my head, and this is just, it's fantastically difficult what you're going through. And I understand that. I don't want to go deeper because I'm not qualified to go deeper, but I know someone I can refer you to. And he is or she is much more qualified. And I think that you'll benefit from that, because for me, I mean, I might just be able to listen to you, but I don't know what to do
Right.
after that. So I'm going to refer you to and then go on. So it's okay to say, oh, well, let's hold on just a minute here.
Yeah.
Let's hold on.
That's a great conversation.
I have a question for you as we're kind of changing direction a little bit. Why do you think that leaders, C-suite individuals, business owners, what is the correlation for you with why they're typically in more need of counseling than others?
Exactly.
Or am I wrong?
No, you're exactly right. The stress is so great on them. As they went along, they were younger, maybe able to handle the stress. They knew they had to put in a lot of hours, that kind of thing. Now they're maybe in their 40s, 50s, and they're tired. They're just tired of putting in that much work, but they don't know how to slow down. They don't know how do I get control of this, this carriage that's just going wild. So we have to see also there's financial stress on them. There's the family stress where there's being told they need to be home more, and it's just becoming too much because they don't know where they can stop. Even at work, they might not be taking breaks. They might not be walking around at work. They sit at their desk, and the stress piles up more and more. And as you know, the instantaneous messages are there all day long. They don't stop. You take them home with you too. So there's a lot of stress there. Did I answer your question?
You did.
Well,
Go ahead, because I got
sorry,
more.
I just have
No,
have a question along those lines. Aren't you also dealing with a certain type of personality when you are dealing with people at that level?
Mm-hmm.
You have a certain type of mentality of
That's
a lot of
that's a great
self-pressure and
Yeah.
a lot of internalizing and a lot of that builds up and accumulates over
Absolutely. I would say their personality type is A++,
Right.
all the way down to A+.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Level 9 and 10. That's about it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Is that what are the personality types, and that you're dealing? I mean, obviously we know because we're in those positions. And boy, you spoke to some things there that immediately made me feel like, dang gum, Philip's in my brain.
I didn't mean to step on your toes there, Tim.
No, what you've done is you've inspired a whole lot of questions that I know we're not going to get to in this segment. So I'm gonna have to push it to the third segment. But when it comes to leaders, when you're working with people, how long does it typically take them to let their guard down? I know they come with some self-preservation, right?
Yeah, good question. So generally about 3 sessions in, their shoulders go down. You can just see that they're just not so stressed and they're ready to talk. So really 3 sessions, they're not ready.
Is it because there's so much they're pulling out that, like, session 1, that maybe session 2 we got more to dump? Is it like do you think, this is just me spitballing here, I don't know if there's actual science behind this or not, but in those 3 sessions, by the time they hit the 4th, are they arriving now finally empty of all the things and ready to build upon a new foundation?
They're not empty of the problems. No.
Well, sure, but
so in those first 3 sessions, I've given them some tools. I've given them the opportunity to talk about what they have going on. I've given them the opportunity to practice at home deep breathing, relaxation techniques. Now they're beginning to open up to me, and they're finding out, I've never told anyone this information before.
Developing
Now,
that trust.
Yeah, now I've told Philip, and he didn't judge me. you know? And so now maybe I can tell my wife what's been going on with me all these years that I never told her. So it just takes that little bit of time. It's the relationship, as we go back to that again. That relationship, I can't build a relationship with somebody in one session, usually,
Mm.
100%.
So
Yeah, 100%. Even though he's a likable guy.
He's a very likable guy.
There's
But
a-
it's
oh,
just like
There is a
training.
very instant connection over here.
It's just like training. You're
Yeah.
not going to get the best out of people in the first couple of sessions,
know
or
this,
know
when-
how they're moving, or
when you do the first massage, they're so tense. And,
Mhm.
and even though you're saying, calm down, they won't.
It's
They're,
trust. Yeah.
they're just so tense. They can't even, they don't know what it feels like to be relaxed and relax their muscles. They just don't. And the same thing with you, Terry. When you start training, you're trying to tell them, okay, loosen up. We got to do some stretches. And they're like, oh, they can't. They can't loosen up.
That's true. No, you're very right. I want to get into some more tips and tricks for this on this third segment. We'll do that right after this quick break. All right, I've been waiting for segment 3 to get all the things.
Me too.
Philip, you do a lot of really good work, and as two high output entrepreneurs, I know Roy would say the same thing if he was here. Boy, the things you said sure hit home. I don't remember the last time I've had an actual full 30-minute lunch break, let alone time enough in the middle of my day to take a deep breath or maybe take a walk.
Yeah.
You got to come see me.
Yeah,
We need notes in front of us to remind us to do that.
and even when we're out, it's kind of hard to disconnect
Mhm.
our brain for a second. And boy, you hit me right at my heart when you're talking about the messages go home with you. I have had these conversations with my wife. I have been really good about work boundaries before, but when when business takes a hit, you typically slide back into your startup mode, and then you start paying attention to your leads and your phone and your notifications way more than you should. You flip your habits back to those startup habits, which I think a lot of times are really bad habits. What do we do now? Like, what can you give some of those guys that are just like me, who are out there, who are in that spot, that don't know how to slow down?
Exactly. Good question, Terry. So at that level, what you do affects your whole team. So if you're a manager in a business, for example, or a CEO, and you don't take your breaks, guess what everybody under you does? They don't take their breaks. Guess what they do then? They get snippety and they get fussy and they write snippety emails to each other and say hateful things. I'll tell you about a made-up fictitious case, if you will. This gentleman was a manager at a pharmacy, an unnamed pharmacy, and he was drinking all kinds of sodas that had all kinds of sugar and all kinds of caffeine in it. He wasn't sleeping. He was smoking a pack a day. He was not taking his breaks. His whole team was fighting each other. People were leaving. The turnover was so great. I was like, whoa, slow down. Let's work on one thing at a time. So we helped him decrease his caffeine and nicotine intake. We helped him learn how to take breaks at work and actually show people, hey, I'm going to break now. I'll be right back in 15 minutes. He started taking his breaks. He started taking his lunches. His team started taking their breaks. They started enjoying each other's company. Less turnover.
Mhm.
His profitability went way up. And this is how anybody in a management position can do. Remember, what you do affects your whole team. So if you're not taking those breaks, that's where you got to start right there.
That's a great thought.
Sounds like Roy. Roy literally said that to me a week ago. He's like, hey, if you stay stressed, your team will be stressed.
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks, Roy.
It's
It's
so
not
true.
that you didn't know it. It's not that you didn't know
It's like,
it.
how?
Well,
You-
we
you
all
knew
look
that.
at it and go, that company culture, it starts at the top.
Yeah,
It does.
It's
And it is
always.
really, I got to say, that's really hard
It is.
to manage, because what we feel at the top, I know I'm going to speak for myself specifically, and if you've got an opinion on this, I'd like to hear it, Vanessa. The entrepreneurial guilt
Mm.
is real. It's hard, and it tells you lies. One of the first lies is if you stop paying attention, you'll lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't take a break unless you earned it.
If you work harder, you'll go further.
If you
Maybe
always
that's the third one.
more equals more,
Yeah,
right?
more equals more.
More always equals more. And you can rest when you're dead.
Yeah.
So,
And on some level, we all believe that.
I got to tell you, it's ingrained, and it's not healthy. And
Preach on, brother. You're preaching to the choir here.
like, where do I pull? Like, where do those?
It's
Where
the
are these weeds that
pressure.
I can pull?
We put pressure with certain personalities, and I know both of us do the same thing. Certain personalities, you put that pressure on yourself. Nobody else is putting it on you. It's all you typically, and having to remind yourself, oh wait, if this doesn't get done right now, I'm not going to lose everything that I've been working for. And that's really where it goes, in my opinion, is where it goes back to, is that fear of I've gotten to this point, and if I stop paying attention or I don't answer that text or email, then
Won't be okay.
everything goes away tomorrow,
It's not-
which is
it's
not
true.
realistic.
It's not true.
And I think we logically know that, but to get rid of that feeling and get rid of that stress and that pressure of this is happening, and that can take down everything that you have. I mean, we've had experiences like that recently where it feels like that can take everything
And
away
it
from you
can
that you've
feel
worked
that
for.
way.
Yeah.
Sure, it can feel that way. But, one thing I teach is, well, we've got to prioritize your day. Well, I have all these emails, and I have all these things and all these tasks.
Mhm.
And so I tell them, if nothing's a priority, if everything's a priority, then nothing is a priority.
And nothing gets done
And
because you get
nothing
stuck.
actually gets done. So I teach them how to prioritize their day and give themselves like rewards for getting the things accomplished, but also to start to notice their team and what they're getting accomplished. And so instead of just putting more and more pressure on the team to perform, then you've got to get your priorities straight and let them know these are my priorities, so they know what their priorities are.
That's good.
Oh dang, yeah.
Uh-oh. Did I
Yeah.
step on more toes?
You got more?
Uh-oh.
No, it's powerful. I'm going to need to probably tattoo that on my forehead, so when I look in the mirror, I'll remember it. And I'm not above tattooing my head. No, digression. What would you say? How do you manage that entrepreneurial guilt? The guilt that tells you that weekends are just 2 more days that you can work ahead of everybody.
I try to teach my clients that you got to rest. You got to find that rest. And so I have to model that myself and take those times and rest. But, I think if you build your team not only of people who work with you and for you, but your team is also other people who are entrepreneurs going through similar things, and they can help manage you and go like, I see you're really stressed. And you can go, oh, I knew it, but I didn't know it. And so, yeah, you're right. So our colleagues are the ones who are going to kind of help us manage that level and realize I can only do this much today. And I got to put that, I got to take my break.
Yeah.
You'll actually be more productive when you take your breaks.
Well, and for me, it's, again, the knowledge is great, but execution is the problem. So what conversations or affirmations or tips do you have for starting to reframe that thinking? Because it sounds easy, but
Right.
execution is the problem.
So what is rewarding you? What is your reward? So the reward, intrinsic rewards and extrinsic. Okay. So intrinsically, you have some drive that you want to accomplish something. And when you get there, you almost realize, oh, I've gotten to where I want it to be. Now I still got that drive. What can I do next? And so the internal drive that you have almost never shuts down. It's not like
That's
our
true.
computers that needs to reboot and it doesn't get rebooted. Then there's also the external. External is pay. External is someone telling you you're doing a good job. You like those. Everyone likes those as well. But that's really not what's motivating you. I don't even know when my paydays are. I
Right,
lose track.
right.
I prefer somebody to say, hey, Philip, you're doing a great job. And that project that you worked on was really, really good. I appreciate that. And so that builds up my intrinsic to want to do better, but also to realize, oh, I worked on that thing and it was really only 80%, 90% of what I could do. And it makes me realize, you know what? 80 to 90% is pretty good. That's like the B plus A area.
Mhm.
So I'm really doing good. And that way I can spread myself out and do really good on 2 or 3 different things. And so then you're finding out, oh, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to do this 100% on every project. What I have to do is find out what the most important projects are.
Changing those expectations of
Mhm.
yourself.
Changing the
Yeah.
expectations, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you
That's-
feel like I fired shots at you
When you
when I stared at you?
went the big bug eyes towards me, yes. Guilty of working weekends, but it feels good to work weekends, quite honestly, because I don't have new stuff coming at me all the time.
Right,
So
but I
I can
know you.
accomplish.
I know you, Vanessa. You like sitting on the couch, maybe watching your show. Maybe it's
Yeah, that's
Survivor.
me.
I don't know. And you're watching your show and you're just tickety a little bit. It's not pressure. I mean, you almost
No,
find
it's
yourself
actually
being,
a
yeah.
relief for me on the weekends because I feel that I'm brushing and running a race all during the week and trying to put out fires or bat problems away.
Right,
And
right.
on the weekends, I don't have that. So I actually feel way more accomplished where I can run through the tasks that have been sitting on my list all week. And when I can mark all those off and go into the next week feeling like, okay, I'm not behind when Monday morning hits, because that's oftentimes when I feel like that, it sets me up for a lot more stress during the week. So that's why I do that, Terry.
She just looked bug-eyed at Terry.
Well, so this is why I want to. This is why this is a good conversation, because there's a personality trait here that's revealing itself, right? This is why that rest is personal, and I want you to speak to this, Philip, when you get a second. When I shut up and let you, because we're chasing different things, so it's why it's not necessarily a blanket statement. For me, rest looks like hiding, first of all, and it looks like that one thing my OCD can't get enough of, and that's a clean inbox or a clean text box, or everything's checked off the list for the week. So those are the things that that plague me. And what I lie to myself and say is that, once I knock all those out, I can truly rest.
Exactly.
Poke holes in that, would you?
Exactly. We'll put quotes on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to Terry. It goes back to Vanessa, what she was saying, because absolutely, if I get my list all done, the list never ends.
Yeah.
It's always adding more and more to the bottom of the list. And so where does it end? So I had a gentleman really stressed out, a lot stressed out, so much so he had to take all kinds of medicine and everything just to calm him down where I could work with him. And we got him to a level where I could work with him. And I said, okay, for this weekend, I just want you to go outside. He goes, what am I supposed to do? I said, nothing. And he said, what is nothing? I said, go outside, just go outside. But what am I supposed to do? I said, sit on the grass. But what am I supposed to do? I said, sit on the grass. He goes, I can't just sit there. I have to do something. I'll have to have my phone with me. I said, you cannot have your phone with you. You have to sit on the grass. He said, well, what am I supposed to do? I said, count the ants that walk by.
There we go.
I feel that. That's my own form of personal torture,
He came
as
back.
having to sit
He
still.
came back the next week and he said it was wonderful. After I got used to it, I counted every bug, every ant. It was so calming. I'm going to do that more. I said, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah.
I think, I think for me too, the expectation that the weekend, just because it is our culture for your rest coming on the weekends, if you are working a weekday job, I think that's where I like to challenge that a little bit, because my rest came from spending time with my grandson yesterday afternoon on a Thursday afternoon. So my week doesn't normally look like everybody else's week. So I think I would say I do try to take time on Sundays, but I am going to work on Saturdays because I'm taking more time during the week in different forms to find that rest.
Right.
So it doesn't always look like a Saturday, Sunday, or taking a certain amount of
everyone's
time off.
different.
It's a little bit different. Yeah.
Everyone's different. So for him, it was just getting outside. And, for everybody, since they're different, maybe at the end of your work week, whenever that is, whatever day that is, you take your last 15 minutes and don't do any work. Last 15 minutes of the work week, all you're doing is saying, this is what I accomplished this week. This is what I got to accomplish next week. And then you put it away. And so actually walk away from it. I have a home office where I work, and it's really hard because it's there all the time.
It's why I started working from here, because I was doing that same
exactly.
thing.
That's what I'm doing right now. And so my home office, I have to shut down the computer and walk out and shut the door and not go back all weekend. And so that's hard. That's been hard for me. And I'm trying to model it for my clients so they can do it.
It makes a huge difference, though. We've talked about that several times, that coming here, you have that actual separation. So it is easier to go home, even if it's later. If I don't get home till 6 or 6:30, still at that time, instead of walking from the other room in my office, I actually feel like I can say, okay, today is done.
So you're talking about separation. Exactly. When COVID hit, a lot of people began to work from home. They didn't have that separation. That was the biggest construction of houses where they were actually remodeling the houses during that time. So, but now we have the opportunity to go in a few days, perhaps, work from home a few days, or work somewhere else altogether. Maybe you'll get more done at a picnic table in the park. Who knows?
Being aware of your environment. That's why we specifically have our office the way that we do, too.
Absolutely.
Environment makes all the difference.
It sure does.
Doesn't it, Terry?
It sure does.
We'll talk more about that right after this break.
If you're a wellness or fitness pro looking for a space that truly fits the way you work, check out B2 Wellness Suites. With locations in Brentwood and Mount Juliet, B2 offers private suites, shared offices, and day rentals, all in a calm, welcoming environment designed for our industry. But it's more than just a space. It's a community of like-minded professionals who support, inspire, and grow together. Learn more at b2suites.com.
So we were talking about that separation. That's actually the beginning of my relationship with Vanessa. That's like, I have to get this out of my house. The 70-hour work weeks had to stop, and I was willing to do whatever it took. So like meeting Vanessa and then her and I getting to know one another, that also took it to another level. So for us, we're living proof of everything you're discussing today. We worked our butts off for a long time trying to get our things off the ground. We get said things off the ground. Now we're a victim person. Victim's a strong word. We're a product of our own environment of startup. Press, go.
Right.
We identified it. Good for us. We're healthy.
Yeah. Woo.
We're also old and we get tired and
hey,
silly.
Speak for yourself there, buddy.
Okay, well, whatever. Perpetually 29 over there. We created the separation, and then so creating the separation, we built community because we started to talk more and started to get to know each other more, and then we realized, we're opposite of each other in the exact right way. This may actually be a helpful community to pour some gas on that fire. Hence, our collective collaborative office next door, where we solve all the world's problems
every day.
What that's done for us individually has made us better spouses to our partners, because now we can get in the weeds and problem solve at a much faster rate. We're keeping each other accountable and taking breaks. We're also in a place where one of us can be creative and have that energy 1 week or 1 day or 1 hour, and then maybe the next day it's the other.
Right.
So you're walking through business together, and your productivity is through the roof. So we're kind of case in point of all the processes that you've given, but I do want you to recap and summarize some of those things, because we've talked about a lot. We've talked about the weight of leadership. We've talked about the impossibility of slowing down. And then we've also talked about stress and what that looks like on your body, as well as how to handle it in get out in nature. So I would love for you to kind of go over those things real quick one more time as we get ready to close the show.
Yeah. So Vanessa, I appreciate that you and Terry have found that. What would you say that's called? Where you're
symbiotic
relationship. that you kind of almost, like you said, one can be creative one day, and then the other one's like,
Mhm.
no, I don't think we need to be doing that, or maybe tone that down a little bit,
Right.
or maybe, yeah, let's go there. So you're feeding off each other. The space you've created with the B2 Wellness is amazing
Thank you.
because they're beautiful environmental spaces to work in. There's coworkers
Mhm.
everywhere.
Community.
I can just sit out in the lobby area and wait, and when, don't go back. Don't go back to your room yet. I got something I need to talk to you about. So there's somebody there. When I'm at home, I don't take my breaks.
Mhm.
There's laundry to do. There's dishes to do. Oh yeah, I forgot I didn't clean off the front porch. Why? The baseboards need scrubbing. So,
Well, and you don't, and if you're not having that vision or you're not being productive, then it comes to be where you're beating yourself up and it's a lonely road every day.
hmm hmm So I find that my personality style is to be with others similar to you all and get that inspiration, if you will, and get the things done I need to do. So when I have that weekend, I can do things, go outside in nature, walking, hiking, whatever it is. Mainly be with friends and family who build me up.
Mhm.
I want to be with people who are recharging my battery.
And then how do you navigate that feeling? You talked about what are your top tips for navigating that feeling of I've got to do.
hmm hmm So what do you do with that? How do you manage
Yep.
that internal saying to yourself, the words to yourself? Well, you learn to say other things like "it will be okay," and you tell yourself out loud, "This does not have to be done today. It's okay." That kind of thing. So finding
Fake
those,
it till you make it.
finding those self affirmation kind of things that you say to yourself. Maybe in this case, you're working too hard, and maybe Terry sees it. He writes you a little sticky note and says, "You're good enough," or "This is enough," and he puts it on your
Aw,
desk when you're out, and
that's
you
lovely.
come back and you're like, Terry, you're right. I've done enough. I'm going home. you know.
And if you're
I-
by yourself, you can do some of those things like I do. I write on my mirror in my bathroom and
Yeah.
remind.
So
Yeah.
those self affirmations are so important. And if you don't believe them, you keep writing them, put them on your mirror, wherever you see them every day until you do believe them.
hmm
And then once you start believing you are worthy, you're worthy of other people's attention, you're worthy of your time, alone time, you're worthy of your recreation time. You are worthy of all those things. Maybe you're not getting paid for those things. Maybe your motivation is pay. And so you think, well, if I do this little bit more, I can get paid more. I went to Germany. I lived in Germany when I was in the military. Went to Germany. I went to this little bakery down the street. It's wonderful. Has the best little baked goods. I loved it. I walked down there on Saturday morning. I'm so excited. I'm going to get my baked goods. And it says closed, geschlossen. I was like, what? I knocked on the door. I banged on the door. I was like, what do you
How
mean?
dare you? Yes.
It's a Saturday. This is your biggest day. And they came to the door all confused, and they opened the door a little bit. And I said, excuse me, why are you closed? Is there a problem? Is an oven broken or something caught on fire? Oh, no. We just wanted to go to the park today and have fun.
Oh, and you gave yourself permission to do
And
that.
they did. And so they're not worried about the bottom line. They know their customers are coming back. They'll come back tomorrow for whatever that they were going to get today. So it was a new philosophy for me. It's like you don't have to work all the time.
So some of the things that you've told us is prioritizing, reprioritizing, time blocking, being aware of what the conversation is in your head and those
Yes.
affirmations.
Yes.
Getting out in nature and counting ants.
Counting ants.
Top tip of the day. P.S.
Everyone go
Love
home and
that.
count ants.
I already it's like I just see myself trying to do that. I will say I am very guilty of, like, sometimes I'll go home, and the drive from here is very decompressing. It's
Mhm.
about a 20-minute drive for me to get back to my house, and I can listen to a sports podcast or whatever. And I get home, and there's sometimes I don't even go in the house. I sit on which is my Zen area, is my back porch,
There you go. There you go.
and I'll hang out there. But if I'm honest, it's hard to hang out there and not scroll on my phone or find more work to do, or even turn the TV on to kind of mute out the voice of, why are you here?
Well, now you
Did
know
you do
there's
enough?
ants out there.
Yes.
So you can look for the ants on your porch, on your
Yes.
deck. Yeah. So we have another term in counseling for ants, and that's those automatic negative thoughts that we have. And that's how you're going to
Oh.
overcome them with those
Love
self
that.
affirmations, the positive affirmations. It takes about 7 positives to overcome one negative.
And start to become your own biggest cheerleader.
Yes. So if you have someone say
7 to
something
1.
negative to you, or you feel you take it negatively, then it's going to take you 7 other things that are positive to kind of catch up. It's like your bank account was emptied out. And so
That's
the
good.
the
That's
ants
really
are
good
those
information.
automatic negative thoughts that we all have. Say you're running late to an appointment. Well, my whole day is ruined. Well, that's not true. You're just late 5 minutes. I mean, that's acceptable.
Mhm.
You're going to be okay. The rest of your day is good. So that automatic negative thought, or I don't know, you're at home and you break a glass or something happens and you're just like, oh, everything today was horrible. The whole day was horrible. Instead, we start looking for the positives. If you can look for 3 positives each day, Vanessa, each day you write down 3 positive things that happened or that you liked, and you're going to start looking for those positives. Because I know Philip is going to hold me responsible. Did I look for my 3 positives today? And so now you're going to be more focused on the positives so much, you're going to be building up that bank account. So when a negative thing happens, you're just like, oh,
It's more
it's
natural.
spilled milk. Everybody spills the milk.
Yeah.
It's okay.
What do they call that? Catastrophizing?
Exactly. How
Okay.
did you know that term? There you go. It's
There's some things
exactly.
in there.
There's a lot of
There's some
things in
things
there.
in there.
Yeah.
We've got some new practices we're going to be
I think
implementing
that,
in
yeah,
that
I
office
think that's
over there.
powerful. I think the irony there is that that's the same amount of times you've got to reach out to people in order to close a sale.
I mean,
7
whatever
times.
helps
7
you
times.
remember it,
7 times. And I think that, that's powerful. And I have heard it before. It's the process of accountability is the key. Preach to yourself positive things, like stay in that space.
Or give yourself a moment to live where you're at and not feel great about it and then move on.
Yeah, there's so much that I want to keep going in these conversations, but we can't. The show is over for the day.
No.
I hate to end it, but if you've enjoyed anything that you've heard, check the show notes below and get in contact with Philip. He's an amazing counselor. He's becoming an amazing friend. I'm very excited to keep working with this guy.
Yes.
Living Path Counseling.
Living
Yes,
Path Counseling.
Absolutely.
We're working on building the brand right now. So by the time this airs, you will have a website below this in the show notes here. Philip, it's been a great honor to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I'm excited. I think we're going to have him back for sure because this is, I know it's helpful for us, so I can imagine it's helpful for you all listening. So if you found it helpful at all, we ask that you like and subscribe and share it with a friend. On behalf of myself, Vanessa, Roy Mangrum, and Philip, again, thank you for being here. Ezra behind the computer over here. Spread the positive in Nashville Fit. We thank you for tuning in, guys, and we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.